Good evening. There it is, clicking into live. How are you this evening? I am really full of sunshine. Look at this. And it's raining outside. It's been a lovely day. I got all my washing dried. And then tonight it started raining. And here's me in my sunshine top. But I'm going to bring a bit of ray of sunshine into your lives tonight on this live. I hope you're all okay. I hope you're watching. So I've got a great live for you tonight, an absolutely superb live. I am going to say things that people have told me not to say tonight. So that's when I'm at my best. When someone says to me, you can't say that, Mandy, I see that as a challenge. So that's what I'm going to do tonight, whether people like it or not. So I'm really sorry if it offends you. Not sorry really at all, but it shouldn't offend you, because I think you'll get it, because the people that are on my network will just get this. So I'm going to do a deep dive tonight into the mind of a creative, what it is about us that makes us special. So that's the plan. I'm happy that you're here. Stick with me. It's going to be a great live. So for those of you that don't know me, I am Mandy Nicholson. And I am the Creative Genius Consultant. I'm an artist, I'm an author, I'm also a retreat and B&B owner now, and I help creative women to launch, grow, and scale their businesses and make more money. That's what I do. I love it. It's my favorite thing, working with creative women. And one of the things that's fascinated me over the decades is how creative women think, how us creative women think and behave. We are different and we do think differently. So that's what I want to explore tonight. That's what we're going to be exploring tonight. Hi, Kirsty. You're still sunshiny. I am a bit sunshiny, yes. Dolbeatty is not, but Mandy is. That's all I'm going to say about that. So I have this little document here that I've been working on. I actually did a live on this. I think it was well before Christmas. And since then, I have been doing some more research and more study, and I've added to this document. And it's a document that I read out in my 5-day challenge, and it went boom. Everybody was like, wow, that's me. She's talking about me. And then what happened was my daughter came to visit. And she read this document that I'd written, and I said, this is what I've been writing, Becca, about, the mind of a creative. And she read it and she said, Mum, that's the diagnosis for ADHD. So that started me researching and thinking. And I had a chat with one of my friends, Nick Oakes, who's a really good friend of mine. And she said, I think the creative mind is like ADHD on speed. It literally is something else. And it is. So I wanted to kind of get that on the table tonight. Is there, question mark, you can't say this in public, Mandy, question mark, is there a connection between ADHD and the autism spectrum and creativity? Is this what makes those amazing people with labels? And we don't need labels. It doesn't matter what your label is. It's irrelevant. We are just human beings, and it really doesn't matter. But is there a connection between what is labeled in society as a spectrum, and actually, is it just creativity? Is it frustration and creativity? So that's the question mark I'm going to put out there to the world tonight, even though I've been told I can't say it in public, not by anybody who's got any qualifications. But I think we should be discussing these things, because when I have discussed it with women, they have gone, oh my God, that is me. That is me. So I've been working with creative women for decades, in retail, in my own business, in many different formats, in many different ways. I have 2 children on the spectrum, both of which are creative. One's doing a degree in art and design, and one is doing a HND in visual communication, because that's their natural tendency. And I've encouraged both my kids to follow the thing that they are good at. So I'm going to walk you through tonight some of this, not all of it, because this went from the 20 things that go on in a creative mind to now 35. I'm up to 35. So I'm going to cherry pick from this. And if you want a copy of this, you only have to ask, DM me or mention it in the comments. Say, Mandy, send me one on Messenger, and I will send you a copy of this. No charge. You can have a read through it and see if it sounds like you. But I haven't done it for any other reason than to help us to understand ourselves. And I believe, wholeheartedly, when we understand ourselves and when we understand the reason that we behave in the way that we do, it makes it easier to accept ourselves just for who we are, and that we're not alone we're not alone in thinking like the way that we do. So I think that's why I go and prod this. Yes, please, could I have a copy? Absolutely, Kirsty. So number one on my list in the mind of a creative is that your mind literally never slows down. It's non-stop and it's filled with curiosity. Do you ever feel like your mind literally never stops, constantly coming up with ideas and things that you could be doing other than what you are currently doing? Yeah, this is one of the issues that a lot of creative women have in business, because they will be doing something and their mind's going, but you could be doing this instead of what you're doing right now, and you will be enjoying that better because, that's more exciting than what you're doing now. So there never seems to be a break from the thought processes that are going on, like a machine constantly running, constantly running. It's exhausting. And this is why you suffer from fatigue and often why you get bored. Yeah. But it's also the source of some fun experiences and memorable discussions. So all of those things, your mind literally never slows down. There are positives and negatives. And I want to highlight this. I want to put a big spotlight on the fact that there is light and dark, positive and negative in everything. Because goodness me, what's the alternative? Going down a straight line in linear thinking and not having all these ideas. It's learning how to capture them, to work with them, and how to focus on your business while still enabling yourself. The luxury of having these ideas and being able to explore that part of your creative mind. So that's number one on there. Number one on the list. Number two is that you will generally challenge the status quo. Yeah, you're that person. What if? Why not? You notice inequality and you're going to speak up. And you will question what others don't, like me tonight, talking about the link between creativity and ADHD. People said I couldn't do this on a live. They said I couldn't talk about this. And I'm like, you know what? Don't tell me what I can talk about. So this can make people around you feel uncomfortable. So there may be times that you do make people feel uncomfortable because you're that person doing that thing or saying that thing that nobody else will. And, people don't like to upset the apple cart, do they? But you're not afraid of that as a creative. It's necessary for us to be able to discover new ways of doing things. So if we don't challenge the status quo, we're never going to have anything new. And who comes up with all the ideas for these new things that we need in society? Creatives do. Yeah. So don't ever doubt that part of your thinking is 100% spot on. You will embrace the creative genius in you. This is number three, even when others don't. Yeah. You're authentic, not popular. You don't care about being the popular one in the crowd. You're quite happy to be the one that's a little bit geeky, quirky, different, wearing the paint splattered dungarees with the purple dyed hair. You're not bothered. You're going to embrace that creative genius. You might be molded a bit by society, but that's going to sit in you still, and it's going to lash out and rebel at some point because it's your natural state. And it's actually okay to be that person. And it's important to be the real you and not contrived. You may have been the rebel, the goth, the hippie, and you will dig your heels in when challenged. You want your individuality to be seen and to be heard. And good on you for doing that. Keep doing it. Don't let anybody dim your light. Don't let anybody dim your light. Okay, so number four is something that I see a lot in my creative clients. Yeah, you have difficulty staying on task. Yeah, shiny object syndrome hits you all the time. It's part of your daily routine where you're going to be like, ping, idea, I'm going to go and do that. That's more interesting than what I'm doing. It's like that number one that I said about your mind racing with lots of ideas, but shiny object syndrome, the next shiny thing comes into your psyche and you want to chase it. And that takes you off task. And unfortunately, in business, we have to be on task and we have to do some of the mundane stuff that delivers for us the basic routines that we need in our business. And it's finding a balance of putting the systems and processes into place so that that happens, and allowing yourself to chase the shinies every now and again, but in a controlled way. So all of these things are to help you identify what goes on with you and to be able to learn and grow and move in the right direction. You make really big mental leaps and you get bored really easily, and that boredom is part of the reason that you go off chasing the shinies, the things that look interesting. You create in cycles, so you can go from high and manic to low slumps where you can't create anything. Like they call it writer's block or creative block. So you'll go and you'll be punting out canvases or pots or whatever it is, or crafting items, whatever it is that you do. And then all of a sudden you'll go into a slump for a few days and you can't do anything physically, can't do anything. I've experienced this myself. And when you're in that slump, it's awful. That's normal. And the reason is because when you're creating on the high, you're in creative flow. It's a very addictive state to be in, creative flow. And you want to have the output going at 100 miles an hour, and it's exhausting and you become fatigued. And that actually causes the low and the slump. It's identifying that, knowing that that's going to happen and managing that creating in cycles. What I do now is that I don't allow myself to be in the studio for any more than 2 hours at a time. And if I'm writing, 2 hours at a time, but a break every 20 minutes. I'll write for 20 minutes, take a 10-minute break, have a walk, have a cup of tea, come back to it, because otherwise I end up in a really bad place a couple of days down the line. So this is for you to learn about managing your own behaviors so that you can be more successful and do the things that make a difference in your business. I'm going to flip past some of these now because I did cover these last time and I've written more since, and I want to get to the ones at the end because there are some new ones. So one of the things that, you do as a creative is you feel very deeply. Yeah. Human expression personified is what I've written in here. You scream at the canvas to create one mere droplet of paint. You are passionate about depicting differences and inequalities in your work, even if that is manifested as merely the contrast between dark and light. So you are very emotional, very light and dark, and that's a wonderful thing, but it can confuse other people. And again, it's something that you've got to learn to embrace, because if you have too much of that going on, then you're not going to get some of the business basics on rails in your business and working for you and bringing in income. And this is why a lot of creatives live on the poverty line, because we've got these extremes going on. And unfortunately, and amongst the extremes, you've got to have routine. So routine plus extremes equals genius. Yeah, extremes without routine equals no money in the bank. And that's a fact. So we've got to get balance. So let me find one that's a little bit further on. This is a really good one for me. This is a really good one for you, because this is what you do. You connect the dots better than anybody else. You will see patterns, even as I'm speaking to you now. You will be finding and seeing patterns in yourself and in the things that I am saying to you. You're connecting the dots and going, oh my goodness, yes. Yeah, you are really, really good. You have an ability to complete a full picture while others are still wondering what to do next. You've actually got it. 3 sentences in, you've got it, and other people are still listening and confused and not getting it, but that's how good you are. That's how good your creative brain is. And you're on the next thing, creating the next solution to it. see the advantages of some of these things that you do just naturally with your creative brain. And if creativity is linked to ADHD, bring it on. I'll take that diagnosis. I'm not bothered about labels. It does not bother me whatsoever. Okay, I'm going to be really, really to the left here. You have a tendency towards addiction. Okay. I'm not necessarily referring to substances here, such as alcohol or drugs, although that could be part and parcel. Your addiction is firstly to creative flow. And when this is not present, you can turn to multiple other sources for instant gratification when you're not able to connect to that creative flow. This is a natural tendency. It could be shopping for beautiful things. It could be food. It could be buying art and craft supplies, buying all the paint. I know you buy all the paint. I know you buy all the craft supplies. Yeah. I know you buy all the fabric or all the paper, because that's part and parcel of the tendency towards addiction when you're not in or can't access creative flow. It can cause problems and it can lead to debt, to money management problems, and also it can produce an eclectic and interesting environment, but it can leave you with life and business problems. You can be overspending and overconsuming before you're actually making enough money coming into your business to support the business that you're building. So I've added that one as number 21. So we're way past the top 20 now and into like the 20s, and then it goes into 30s. So I'm not going to read them all out. I am going to stop because you'll get bored at 20 minutes. Again, the mind of a creative, you'll get bored at 20 minutes. So I'm not going to go on and on and on. That's why I said, if you want a copy, please ask. So I'm going to read 2 more out, and then I'm going to talk about why this is who we are. So you can be prone to anger and blame. Okay. When things don't go the way you want them, you can lash out and blame others for your mistakes. You regret it later and say sorry, but these bouts of anger and blame are the epitome of your passion, the artist's passion, the creative's passion. The thing that creates the amazing stuff can also manifest in many other different ways. So how do you control and channel that? Because it is about that passion. That passion needs to be in the product, or in, even better, in the marketing. If you can put that passion into something that's going to be really beneficial for your business, then that's how you use this creative brain of yours. Irene, I've got your message there. I will get your copy through Messenger. Okay, this is a one that I've added because I've seen this in my daughter. Remember, I've got 2 creatives, a daughter and a son, both creative, both on the spectrum. You can be huffy, okay? You can be a bit huffy. The fact that you take things personally in your work tends to spill over into your life. You are quick to react to any real or perceived critique. Now, in general, as creatives, we do normally like and accept critique. It's good for us. It enables us to grow and build our work around what's wanted and needed. But also we can take things really, really personally and go off in a huff. Yeah, I've seen my daughter do it loads. And my son, actually, if I'm really honest, done it myself. I'm going to be truly honest, done it myself. But that's, again, linked into the passion part of your creative brain. Controlling that and allowing yourself to give and receive feedback and take it calmly and constructively helps you to change how you can move your life and your business forward. Okay. Number 27 is that you see the talent and light in others. Okay. You are quick to spot talent and the goodness in others, even if they don't see it themselves. I have to say, this is one of my strengths, that I can see people very quickly. And then you go back to the other comment that I made earlier about the connecting the dots. I really listen to people, and I think you will too as a creative. You'll listen intently and you'll watch and you'll connect the dots, and you are able to see good and talent in other people. Sometimes you'll then compare yourself and you'll go into comparisonitis or imposter syndrome, but you can spot it really, really quickly. So I'm going to finish on this one. But like I say, there's 35 on here, so it is several pages long. But it's good for you to have a read through and start thinking about how you manage it. And this is where I'm going to finish. Number 28, you are a leader. You have so many leadership skills. You're an ideas person, a trailblazer, and you're not afraid to question things. If you can control your boredom and inability to stay on task by surrounding yourself with people who have those skills, you will be incredibly successful. You probably haven't even considered it. And what really came to light for me over the last 4 weeks, I've had 9 of my clients here over the last 4 weeks on creative retreats. And it's been really fascinating for me as a leader to watch their leadership skills evolve. And each one of them had them in different ways. It's fascinating for me. I love it. I love to see leadership qualities coming out. And you will have them as a creative. But normally you are put in a big group or in a team, you're put into the ideas slot and kept back from that leadership role. And actually, if you could step into that leadership role, you would be so good at it and such a good leader. So these are just some of the things that go on in the mind of a creative. I have been studying this for years. Now, what happens is we tend to think these things are the things that make us a bit weird, a bit quirky. We're not going to fit in. We can't do that. We end up in comparisonitis, imposter syndrome, low self-esteem, because we are beating ourselves up for the very things that I think we should be celebrating. Once you understand them, you can start to celebrate them. Once you understand the dark side and the light side of some of these traits, you can start to put plans in place to do the mundane stuff that you hate doing and really embrace those fantastic creative qualities that you have. So this is where I'm going to say, ladies, I work with creative women all the time. I see this all the time. I love it. I adore it. It is, in the words of Rebecca Williams Dinsdale, who is one of my clients, it's joyous, absolutely joyous working with these creative brains. And I've got a 5-day challenge coming up. You'll see the ticker going across the bottom. I'm not frightened to tell everybody what I am doing. 11th of April, my next 5-day challenge. It's an amazing, high vibe, fun-packed week with loads and loads of information that helps you with some of this stuff to keep you on track with some business basics to get your business on rails and into some routine. So if you haven't done my 5-day challenge before, get yourself along to do the 5-day challenge. I'm going to guarantee it will help you. You know, go and speak to some of my ex-clients, current clients. They will go, yes, do it. Do it. It's the best 5-day challenge out there for creatives. It's possibly the only 5-day challenge out there for creatives. So you must come if you are a creative. If nothing else, you get to meet lots of other creative women just like yourself and build that fantastic network and community around you that will hug you and look after you and think like you and behave like you and get you. That's the most important thing. They'll get you. So I told you this was going to be a good live. There's lots of information there. Happy to send this out to you. Will do for everybody that's asked. And you know what? I would love to see you in my 5-day challenge. But even if you don't come to the 5-day challenge, come to the next one. I do them every quarter. It's my favorite 4 things of the year to do. Yeah, because last time we discussed this in the 5-day challenge. And you know what happened? Loads of women with ADHD stuck their hand up and said, that's me. I've got ADHD and I'm a creative. And oh my God, I get it now. I get it now. And that's what's prompted me to talk about this in public, even though I've been told that I shouldn't, and make that connection in public, even though I've been told that I shouldn't. Guess what I'm doing? Challenging the status quo. Yep. Guess why? Can't help it. That's just what we do. Anyway, thank you for sticking with me tonight. I've gone on a bit longer than I normally do tonight because I get really excited about this subject. It's a fantastic subject. Do make a comment. Let me know where you've been watching from. Let me know if you've been watching live on replay. Join me next Tuesday night because I will have some juicy stuff for you, no doubt. And the week after that, it's my 5-day challenge. So Have a fantastic week. I will be doing a live Thursday morning again because I double up when we're coming up into a challenge, and I do 2 lives during the week. So join me on Thursday morning on all of these pages, and I'll see you same time, same place, perhaps not quite so sunshiny, but certainly very much as happy next Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful week. Bye.